Hello, and welcome to another SCS live stream. My name is Mark. I'm a vehicle production coordinator at SCS Software. And with me today is Mr. Maybe It's Maybelline. No, I fucked it up already. Mr. Maybe He's Born With It. Maybe it's Maybelline himself, Andy,
Yes,
our
sir.
3D artist. How you doing,
Yes,
Andy?
sir. I'm doing great.
Yeah?
Yeah, been a while since we've done this.
Yeah, you've been away on vacation.
Yeah, I was back home for 3 weeks, but now we're back. So
Nice.
with your favorite stream.
My favorite stream.
Yeah, your favorite.
It is my favorite stream.
You specifically.
Yeah, because we get to learn all about the process behind
Exactly.
making accessories for the trucks.
Yeah.
So if you're joining us for the first time, as you can see behind me, we're currently working on making a moose bumper or roo bar or bull bar or whatever you might call it. We're already, 4 episodes in? This is number 5?
Or is it 6?
Is it 6?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it's 6.
Is it 6?
It should be
Benny?
6. Yeah.
Benny doesn't know. Benny says 6. Okay.
Yeah, should be
Episode
6.
number 6. So today we're going to finish up with some texturing and what?
Never mind. Yeah. Today we'll just finish up some, or rather fix some mistakes from the last stream. I realized why the Vertex colors were behaving badly.
Mm-hmm.
And then we will just finish up the texture on these lights on the side. And maybe we can wrap up the model for this stream. Hopefully. We'll see how it goes.
Cool.
Yeah. So we can start with that. If you guys remember, we tried to bake some ambient occlusion onto the vertices of our mesh here, but I was getting some weird kind of artifacting. That's because I always realize things when the camera turns off. That's because we ran a cleanup on the geometry to fix some non-manifold vertices, and that basically split some of them. So
What is a non-manifold vertices?
it's basically a geometric shape, which I'll just put it in simple terms, is impossible for the software to process. So it will throw out errors and all sorts of issues. But if I select a vertex here, I actually have multiple overlapping ones. So first I just have to select everything that's on this mesh, and we can merge it with a very small threshold. I guess in this case, something like that would work. Yeah, see, we went down. I can close it now, delete the history, and I will just re-import the texture.
Why is the bumper white? Didn't it used to be pink?
We're previewing the vertex colors.
Oh,
we
okay,
have this
okay.
internal tool that's allowing us to look at the vertex colors alone.
Okay.
Right, so as we discussed in previous episodes, the vertex, which is basically just a point in the three-dimensional space,
Mhm.
can carry multiple sets of information.
And if you missed those previous episodes and you want to know just how we got here, make sure to go back and check them out.
Exactly. Yeah, so we're just gonna go to our mesh display and then paint vertex color tool. We'll go into the attribute maps, and we will import the texture that we baked last stream, which is this one.
I don't even remember last stream. It was so long ago.
Yeah,
You've been away. I've been away. We both been away.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically a month ago
Yeah.
at this point, I think. Or like 3 weeks.
Where
But
were you?
I was back home in Macedonia, but I went to Greece for a few days. Then I went up to the mountains.
Oh, nice.
So I had quite of a
Was it like a spiritual journey into the mountains for some peace and quiet to live with yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little bit.
Nice. Some
I
kind of
always like-
pilgrimage.
I always like going up to the mountains when I'm back home because it's a different kind of nature there. It's
Mm.
like mountains in Western or Southern Europe are kind of pristine, kept clean, maintained well, but in the Balkans it's a little bit more wild. So it's a different experience.
Cool.
Like you see all sorts of wild animals roaming around, and
Really?
yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Saw some deer running around this time, which is pretty common everywhere, but a few years back I would even see bears on the road.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Like black bears? What are they like?
There's black and brown bears. So
you guys have brown bears in Europe?
yeah, we do.
Really?
Yeah, we do. And that time I believe we encountered the brown bears, which are
They're-
very dangerous.
they're
And
beefy,
and
yeah.
there were also the cubs were around.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Luckily we were in the car, so we just drove off. But yeah, you don't want to be in that situation.
Yeah.
It can be really sketchy.
I can't say much about where I was. I was in the U.S., and that's about all I can say, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But doing some fun and exciting stuff. Yeah.
Oops. So I've applied the vertex colors here, as you can see. And now we just need to smooth them out a bit. And I'm just going to grab the same tool and use this kind of soft fall-off brush with the smooth. And if I hold B and left click, I can adjust the size of the brush. I'm just going to manually go over some of these parts that kind of look strange. And
there's
just
no
kinda
way to
soften
like
it.
automate this through Maya?
We have some tools that I'll show you a little later.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe actually it's better to start with that. So I'm just going to re-import this because we have some dilation and blur tools right off the bat.
By the way, Chad, I had no idea if there actually were tools or not. I'm just winging it here.
Yeah, but it's good that you're reminding me of things because when I'm in the flow of working and trying to pay attention to the stream and speaking, I kind of get lost in the flow. So yeah, we're going to use the Vertex Chameleon here.
We have a
And-
question in the chat, which I think
Sure.
we've answered several times before, about why you choose to use Maya over Blender.
Just a preference.
Yeah.
Just a preference. Yeah. So we have this dilate option that allows us to kind of clean up the transfer a little bit. You can still see that we have some errors,
Mm-hmm.
but this we will fix by hand.
Okay.
Next thing I want to do, though, I want to clamp this because it's exceeding the range that I want it to be in.
You want to clamp it.
Yeah, that clamping basically means so.
Would
in
you say you're going to give it the clamps?
You need to hit the.
Oh,
Yeah. There we go.
So
but-
clamping it will like hold on to that.
No, so basically a grayscale texture is a range from 0 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
In our case, we want the vertex colors to be in a range of 0 to 0.5.
Okay.
So we need to clamp it, which means we will take the range and either make a cutoff at the 0.5 or just compress it. I think in this case, it'll just do a cut. Just need to find where it was. Should be an adjust, I believe. No levels, yeah.
The artists in the company, some of them work with Blender here in SES, right?
Yeah, they do.
But
A lot of
we
people in
always
my
have to
department.
use Maya to finalize it before we bring it in game
There we
because of all our
go.
tools are all in Maya. I remember that from last time.
Exactly. Yeah. So Maya is basically like the interface to our engine. In the final step of the process, we just put everything together in Maya. So I've clamped the ranges here, just looking at where most of the errors are so that I know what I need to fix. So now we can isolate just this part of the geometry, go back to the Paint Vertex Color tool, and maybe just select this first, and just smooth out the problem faces with the brush. So you just click a bunch of times. It's not much to it until you get rid of the issues on it, basically. Now, we have different ways of generating this vertex color AO, but I just prefer doing it from texture because if I mess up, I can always just go back and re-import the attribute map. So it's kind of a nice, how do I say, backup of sorts. Now we're just going to clean this up a little. Now, due to the nature of how low poly we tend to keep things, sometimes it's not possible to fully fix these, but you just try to get it looking as natural as possible without too many artifacts. Right, so I'm quite happy overall. We just need to fix some of these here. And then we're gonna go in and manually adjust some of the colors by hand, because I would like this inner side to be a little darker.
Right, right.
So I'm just gonna do that.
The rest of the truck is already modeled. It's the truck we're building this bumper for is the W900, which recently got a update with the Legacy Edition with the flat roof.
That's already out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, you were on vacation. You weren't here for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So go check that out
Yeah.
if you haven't.
Make sure to update your game for the
Exactly.
free W900 Legacy update.
Who doesn't love free stuff?
Benny.
Really?
Yeah.
That's really strange.
Mm-hmm.
What about free baconators?
Benny says he doesn't believe anything comes for free. He thinks there's
Okay.
always a catch.
He's
Right,
not
Benny?
wrong.
I just put words in Benny's mouth. He never said
and
that.
with no way to defend himself.
Right.
Okay.
But speaking of modeling and stuff like that.
Yep.
For 5 streams now, you've been leading us on about this secret project you've been working on.
You told me not to talk about that.
Did I?
You literally told me not to talk about that. Before the stream started, I asked you, can we talk about it?
In case you guys missed it, which I hope none of you did, we recently announced the addition of Project Road Trip, which Andy here has been working on for quite a few months now.
I would say more than months, but yeah.
Really? Has it been that long? No, when I got here, you were still working on the LT rework.
Yeah, and right after that, I started working on the project.
That's fair.
So
that's over a year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about some of the cars you were working on?
Am I allowed to say anything?
I mean, you can say what you want, whether or not
Well,
Namiro
yeah,
busts through that door. And
that's a fair point. I can say that on the blog post,
Mhm.
well, people know that there's multiple cars, right?
I think they know there's a Dodge Charger.
Okay, well, I can say I worked on that one.
Yeah.
And I can also say I'm currently working on something.
I'm making Andy really nervous right now
Yeah.
because he's been
I'm
out of the
just trying. I'm
picture and he
stepping
really
on
doesn't know what he
eggshells.
can
I'm
talk
stepping
about.
on eggshells
Yeah,
right now.
everything is still work in progress. We don't know what vehicles are going to make it into the
Exactly.
Road Trip DLC pack at this point. But yeah, you spent a little time on the old Charger there. The
I
classic
did, and that
muscle
was such a fun assignment.
car.
It was a dream come true, honestly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Actually, when we were first discussing the project and the lineup of the vehicles was being drafted, I was basically begging Yarda to give me that one. I was like, yeah, please put me on this project. It was like, sure, why not?
Nice.
And he gave it to me, and I think he's quite pleased with the results. So, yeah, it was a lot of fun working on that beauty. I'm going to darken it like this, because we kind of just want to occlude the inside. Looks like we caught an extra vertex there, yeah. But yeah, I sadly can't say anything else about it.
No? Not even about the other one?
But the other one?
Yeah.
Let's keep that one a secret.
You sure?
Yeah.
I think they know about it. They
They know about it, but
they saw the hood scoop.
Yeah, I know. Well, let's just keep it a secret.
Yeah.
But basically, I can confirm that I've worked on 2 of the vehicles that are coming up for that pack,
Mm.
which is plenty.
Benny, is that you writing that in the chat? No, we're not doing Skoda Octavia. They don't sell Skodas in the U.S. Don't get mad about it. Benny, there's no need to be violent. Benny's over there just looking at me.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Poor Benny.
Yeah.
Can't defend himself.
If Benny had a Benny cam and a mic, he could respond, but
He does, but
No.
he's just being shy.
we keep telling him to do it, but he won't do it.
Yeah. So the thing I'm doing right now,
What are
it's a little boring. I'm just
Ngons? Nagons?
N-gons.
Yeah, what are those?
So there's a quad, there's a triangle, and then there's anything like a pentagon, hexagon is basically an N-gon. The N stands for a number
Okay. Why don't they just say polygons?
because anything can be a polygon. A quad and a tri is also a polygon.
Okay, I guess.
An N-gon is any shape that is not a triangle or a quad. Okay, so I'm somewhat happy with this. I think I'll just give it another smooth and call it a day. Just be quick with it. Again, I'm not trying to be too perfect with this because it's not really possible to have super high fidelity
Mhm.
AO when you're using a low poly mesh. But as long as the artifacting is not so visible, it's fine.
Okay.
We just want it to be smooth.
It's still showing up on the lower panel there by the hole.
I
Yeah.
just messed it up. You mean like this
Yeah.
kind of shit? Yeah. I think we can fix that easily. You just grab these vertices that are problematic.
One thing, chat, I have to disclose
and
to you.
just apply the color.
You guys, you're not going to believe this, okay? It's heartbreaking. Benny was with me when we were in the U.S. last week. and he didn't eat a single Baconator. Not one.
I don't believe that.
Not a single one, I swear.
I don't believe that. I'm gonna turn all this off, and there we go.
Yeah, Mack Trucks totally leaked that we were there at their facility looking at the new Pioneer.
So they know what you were up to as well.
No, that was different.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, no, this
okay.
last time we weren't there for that.
Okay, I see.
Yeah,
I see, I
but
see.
no, we were there a little while back, and even when they first announced the Pioneer, someone like posted them on like I don't know if it was on Twitter or what it was, like, oh, like, you know, we need it in American Truck Simulator, and right away Mac is just like, you can look forward to it, and we're just like, what?
I remember
Are you kidding
that.
me?
I remember that. That was funny.
Tearing the place apart here.
That's fine.
So what else did you get up to in Macedonia besides your mountain retreat?
Just hang out with family
Yeah,
and my cat.
your kitty cat.
My cat.
Do we
yeah.
have a picture of the kitty cat?
I have 1,000 pictures of my cat. Can we show the camera? The
You
camera.
can send it to Benny, and Benny can put it up on the stream.
You can just zoom in.
Zoom in.
Yeah.
Benny won't zoom in.
Come on, Benny. Do your job. She's so
It's gonna get all fuzzy when he zooms in.
Oh, you can't see anything.
I told you.
Yeah.
Nobody listens to me.
Well, now we know. But anyway, she's a tuxedo cat. She's 3 years old. Just a sweetheart. Yeah. Need to put this in this because I merged them last time. Forgot about it. So this part on the inside, typically the way I would solve it is when we merge this in the actual truck scene, I would just reuse the chassis material to save on the draw calls.
Okay.
So maybe we can just skip this for now, and we can generate the normal map for the what was it called?
License plate holder.
No, the hinge,
Piano hinge.
piano hinge. We can do that, and this should be the same material as the overall bumper, right?
Do you know why it's called a piano hinge?
No,
I don't know either. I was
Okay.
hoping you would know.
pick the right person for it. Okay. In this case, maybe we don't need this middle edge, but I'll keep it because actually we can just repeat the texture,
String.
save on the resolution.
Straight.
So we will add our existing bumper material to this.
Oh, thanks, Benny. The term piano hinge comes from its traditional use in attaching the lid of a piano to its body. This type of hinge runs the full length of the piano lid, providing even distribution of the load, and hence it got its name from this iconic application. Thanks, Benny.
Learned something new today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For once.
Exactly. Okay. So we done the AO. We got different materials supplied to it.
Mhm.
It's basically sort of finished. Now we just have to do a texture for the light.
Now, I gave you
But-
some references.
We have a bunch of references for what the light can look like.
Mhm.
And maybe we can pick one of these designs.
I mean,
to-
they're
to
all
stick to.
more or less the same. It's
Yeah.
just different chrome trim
Exactly.
rings over the rubber grommet.
Before we unwrap this and start texturing, I think we kind of need to adjust the mesh a little bit. I'll just make a few extrusions to get the shape looking like that.
I would use the chrome one if you, not that one. Not
This one?
That's one, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, because it's got the light intruded inside. It's kind of an interesting design. So
Yeah.
we can do something like that.
Cool.
So yeah, we could just snap this to this point, like that. Can barely hear you.
The what? Oh, the hood mirror emotes? Yeah, he's been haunting me with those on Discord. You ban him. Just time him out for like 20 minutes. No, don't really. It's fine.
Our light. Do you want to make this kind of bevel to it as well, or it's not necessary? You would say. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
It's
Is it a pain to do? And this
it's not
like,
a pain
small of
to
an
do,
application?
but do we really want to add more to the?
Can we just do it with normal
No,
knobs or
because
something?
it's dependent on the shape.
Then yeah, add it in.
Alright.
Let's show the good people your process.
Okay, we could do that. So in this case, I'll just add a multi-cut here and here. Looks about the same length. I think we're just gonna do it a different way.
Before we do this, should we make sure that the light is the correct size? It should be 2.5 inches, the inside part.
Please convert that to units. I can work.
Chat. Now's your time to participate in the 3D modeling stream.
Exactly.
How many centimeters is 2.5 inches? Please and thank you. Benny, if you want, you can also search for it. What's that?
Just a temporary geometry.
6.35. So there you go, 635 millimeters.
So we need 6.35.
Centimeters, yeah.
Okay.
Who just wrote 25.4?
That's definitely not correct.
I think we went a little too big with the light.
6.35.
Yeah?
No, there's no way that's. Does that look correct?
Wait.
That's the temper.
That's 635 millimeters?
That doesn't seem right.
That seems too big.
Yeah. It's just 6. Yeah.
Huh. Are you sure it's metric and it's not imperial?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Try 2.5.
For every other measurement we were doing, it was making sense. Interesting.
I don't even know what to.
Yeah, I'm confused.
Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, 63.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because it's millimeters, so
6.35 centimeters.
Yeah, exactly. So
I am so perplexed right now.
I don't know.
What's that? English keyboard?
No, but that doesn't.
That doesn't affect
that
my.
doesn't affect anything.
Benny, what are you talking about?
In case Chad didn't hear that.
I would say in this case we just eyeball it. I guess.
Yeah, I think so too.
That really has me messed up. I mean, I guess we
in the past streams we were doing everything converted.
Yeah,
and it's proportionally accurate to the truck.
I mean,
so if the truck
it
was
does
made
actually.
using
Now that I'm looking at it, it does look maybe a little small.
the light itself.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Let's go with 2 inches. Let's do 2 inches to millimeters, Benny. Let's try that.
it's like 5. But is that the whole light or just the
50.8 millimeters, just the inside part. That's 50.8
That's just-
millimeters.
50?
That's 50.
Does that look right?
It still looks quite big, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Something's
But
going
if we
on here.
compare,
There's
if we
some
compare it to
shenanigans.
the light here, and we have similar lights here, maybe it should be bigger. Maybe it's too small.
This is blowing my mind right now.
Maybe
guess,
it is,
yeah, I guess let's-
maybe it is too small.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go with the 2.5 then.
All right. 2.5.
2.5. Yeah.
So
We're,
I'll just
we're
keep
gonna
it
we're gonna
6.
do it properly, and if it doesn't work out, then we'll just do another stream where you have to fix it.
No, you're gonna be fixing it.
No,
You have to apply the knowledge you gained during the series.
I was supposed to be paying attention.
Yeah, that's the whole point. That looks way too big, but
We're doing it. We're going for it.
we'll ship it.
If it fits, it ships. Now it should be sitting. The stud is quite small. It should be sitting quite close to the bumper. I don't know if you've
What'd you say?
the stud that like attaches it. It should be like quite small. Like the light should like almost be like right against the bumper, pretty much.
Yeah, it should be like that.
Yeah.
Like this is
No,
basically
no,
inside
see,
the bumper.
that flat washer there.
Oh, here.
Yeah.
So like that would be the cutoff.
Yeah.
Oh, so this would go inside the.
Yeah, that's what holds it from the other side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the bolt would be on this side,
Correct.
but it wouldn't be visible from our regular view, so we're just gonna omit it.
Right.
So that's quite simple. We can just do it like that.
I can go even smaller.
Even smaller.
Like I'd bring it closer. Yeah. Like
this,
that. Yeah.
Intersect, and then we can bring the light back in.
It should probably move up as well because you can see it's actually lower than the bottom of the bumper. It should be a little bit higher in case you scrape the ground. You're not taking your light off.
Something like that.
Yeah, down a little bit. Down. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe a little more down.
Just move the geometry out of the way. A little more down.
Yeah, just like, yep. Oh, that's it. Perfect.
Nice.
We got her. Yeah, the 4-inch ones are quite ridiculous, and I don't think they.
Now, when you compare it to the blinkers on the fender, it looks right. So maybe we had it too small to begin with.
But those blinker lights are like
Should be smaller, right?
they're quite big. They're like 4 inches. I'm telling you, go into the settings. I bet you we've changed to inches somehow.
It shouldn't matter though.
It doesn't make sense to me. That light should be.
The only setting that you can change inches to centimeters is basically for the grid size itself. But whatever value you type in here is, if we use centimeters so far for everything, even if it somehow switched to inches, it wouldn't really matter because.
All right, whatever.
Like the values that you put here are just number, regardless of there's no imperial or metric system as far as Maya is concerned.
Oh,
For the values that you see here in the channel box, that's only for the grid here that we have in the middle, which we're not really using. So I think we just had it too small.
all right.
So yeah, we just keep going like that. So I'm just gonna split this in half, so I can do the kind of nice bevel effect here. We're just going to add another loop there and just bring this down like that. And just look at our reference. I wish I had two screens.
It's more like beveled inwards towards the front. You know what I mean? See?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. It needs to be a little more. It looks quite flat on this side.
Yeah, that's completely flat.
And then it's got that.
Then it's got the one bevel,
I think we just
and it's like
hardened
more
this.
on the front face than on the barrel.
Oh yeah, like the
reference picture said it was a 2.5-inch light, but you can get them in 2-inch light too. I've seen that.
So something like that.
Yeah, I feel like doesn't the inside part look like too big now?
Yeah, it should be smaller.
Yeah. A little more. A little more. A little more. There you go.
Yeah, it looks right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that bevel could be even flatter.
What do you mean?
I think that bevel's
this one?
too like
Like that? Or like that?
I think our starting point was messed up on the side there. It should have been like farther forward.
Ah, yeah, we could just.
Oh yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, that looks right.
Man, I'm so good at this.
That's why we got you here.
I'm such an expert at Maya.
Exactly. Freeze it.
It's got to be done right, Joe Alex 2365.
Exactly.
Schwabi, you're not going to see it behind the light. It's fine.
Exactly. We're optimizing.
Yeah. Because if it was small, it would just look like a square.
Don't worry, I'm a sucker for bolts. If I can put a bolt somewhere on the model, I'm going to do it. But sometimes it just makes no sense to add it. All right, there we go. There's our light.
I dig it.
Yeah. It's big.
It still seems quite big, doesn't it?
It looks big.
Maybe we should just get rid of it and just do dime lights across the bottom of the bumper. Chat, what do you think? Dime lights?
I mean, they just make it work.
Mark, if Andy gets sick, are you able to take over Andy's job?
We could try.
I could take over like half of it.
You want to try right now?
I can crash Maya.
Anyone can do that. Anyone can do that.
Will this bumper be available? We don't know yet. When we originally set out on this, we didn't really anticipate
Think about
that.
it.
Yeah. Maybe one day. Oh, damn. Linus wants dime lights as well as the side lights.
Need to vote on it.
Yeah,
Democracy.
we could do two versions.
Yeah, we could do 2 versions for sure. I'm just wondering, do we keep it this size or just scale it down a little? Maybe cheat reality. It's our own design.
It's hard to say. Like, until you see it with wheels on it and in game, it's hard to really get a grasp. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but if the model and texture is ready, if it's only a matter of doing that, it doesn't really make a difference.
No. Okay.
us,
Then send it. Leave it.
Okay. All right. So we can see that this is comprised of 2 materials basically, and we have these bolts that we can do via a normal map. Some people are saying that the size is right, so I'll just keep it for now. And yeah. But basically we can reuse.
Or is he saying that they should be the right size and that we don't currently have the right size?
The size looks good now, TBH. I don't know.
Where do you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't read the name.
Yeah,
It's
me
in
neither.
blue. But yeah, we'll just keep it for now. But basically we can use the same material on it from the bumper and then just make a texture for the light itself. Just
Okay.
gonna get rid of these triangles because it's easier to select the face on it.
Now here's a question: when you're making textures, I notice like sometimes there's like, do you guys have like a standardized like amber colored light that you guys use across all the different lights on all the different trucks?
It depends. We have some lights that are reused and you basically like kit bash it almost, but some are very specific and custom. So some lights, especially on tuning packs, will have specific textures.
Okay.
But I would say a lot of the light textures that you see on the trucks are quite old. So on the stuff we're making now, it's just being constantly updated, and we're trying to add new textures to make it look better.
Truckin' Jimmy says he wants as many lights as possible. He wants the driver in front of him to get a tan.
Okay, I mean, we can do that with the locators.
You didn't really get a tan. Were you just like hiding inside the whole time?
I got sunburned in Thessaloniki.
Did you really?
I did,
Yeah.
because I haven't seen the sun in over a year living in this country. And it was 20 degrees. It was just like a moderate sunny day, and we were walking up and down the sea. And then the day after, my nose was just red.
Oh my goodness.
It's just crazy.
I used to think that I couldn't sunburn because I usually just get a tan. And then one day I was outside for 3 days straight with no shirt on. It wasn't fun. I learned things about myself. Benny, you got a bit of a sunburn this week. Nothing to say about it? No? Just chilling over there? All right. Just relaxing, chillaxing, having a good time.
So we need to create a new material for the light.
And it should be amber on the front and red on the back.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I know that much from working on the tuning pack for the Kenworth.
Nice. Oh, you worked on the tuning pack too?
Only the lights, but that was, 2 years ago now?
Yeah, it was quite a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was my first project on the trucks, actually.
Really?
Before that, I was just doing NPC vehicles.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. What other trucks did you work on besides the LT?
A lot of them, but mostly in supporting roles. So LT, I would say, was my biggest truck project, but I was...
So you've never done a scratch build truck yet?
No.
Oh boy.
No, I haven't actually.
I can't wait to give you a project.
I kinda have one in the pipeline.
Yeah, that's more like another
Kinda.
modification.
Yeah.
It's not really
Kinda.
we can't talk about that
Exactly.
one, sorry, chat. But after
wish
that,
we could, though,
after
'cause
that I got an idea for you.
We'll see.
Kind of along the lines of what you've already been doing,
We'll
I
see.
think.
We will
If you're
see.
picking up what I'm laying down.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
I know what you're
All right.
saying.
All right.
I'm just trying to make sure that they don't know what we're saying.
Namira would be so proud of you, not leaking stuff.
I think we'd be prouder if we did. But okay, so we've created a new container for the light texture. Now we need to create a new material. I forgot how to do that because it's been 3 weeks. Think like this. Custom from preset.
You're gone for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I
forgot.
completely forgot how the system works. I believe custom from shader. No, we just need the hub. No, this one. There we go. Just need a UMAT. I think we just need diff spec. No.
Benny, are you gonna get a Baconator on the next business trip? Yeah, that's what you said last time. Before we left chat for like 3 days, he was like, "Yo, I can't wait. I'm gonna get a Baconator," and then he never even got a Baconator. I'm starting to think you don't even like Baconators. J'accuse.
Give me a second. No, that's already existing ones.
So a Baconator is a type of hamburger available from a popular fast food chain in the U.S. where they stack 3 meat patties as well as like 73 pieces of bacon onto one burger. Fresh, never frozen. That's right, Benny. They have some unique sauce on there too, or is it just mayo? Just mayo? Yeah. The Europeans love your mayo. What's your opinion on mayo?
I used to dig it, now I don't.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just too heavy after eating mayo now. I just feel kind of sluggish.
Like it depends. Like I love like a good egg salad sandwich, which is basically just egg and mayo,
True. It has its place,
yeah.
I would say.
But like you guys like every time I get a
we
burger,
would put it on bread or whatever.
Yeah, like every time or fries.
Yeah,
That's the weirdest to me.
yeah.
That's the weirdest. Like mayo on fries, I'm sorry.
That
Many
was
of my
me in
colleagues are
middle
watching.
school. Yeah. We'd get burgers with fries in the burger and then put ketchup and mayo in it. I used to be really fat as a kid. For a reason. Okay. Now we need to create UVs for the light texture.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're basically using the chrome mat for the frame itself, we only need to do UVs for the light only.
Mm-hmm. Now, do we have some kind of like light mask as well that we put on top of that or something?
Light mask? What do you mean by light mask?
Like, how do we get the texture of like what a light looks like on top of that?
With some creativity.
Oh, we gotta like draw it?
Yeah, we're gonna use Substance Painter.
Nice. Okay.
So we just need to create UVs now for this thing. Maybe it would make sense to actually extract these before we do that so that they're separate. I mean, even if it'll be fine. So I'm just going to do an automatic projection on this because it doesn't really matter. Actually, maybe let's be smarter about this. Deselect these. I think I'll just do normal based and then make the cut here because nobody will see that. And then just unfold it. And there we go. Easy money. And then
I have no idea what's going on right now. You unfolded it?
Explaining unwrapping UVs is probably the most esoteric thing.
What does esoteric mean?
It's just, I don't even know how to explain it.
You're not even a native English speaker and you're using bigger words than I know.
It's like some knowledge that's hard to transfer to other people.
Benny, hit me with the ChatGPT definition for esoteric.
Something like that. Whatever. So we just need to put this in the 0 to 1 space. This part doesn't matter, so I'm just gonna put it somewhere. And then these ones, I want them to be laid out maximally, but in this case, we can use a 2x1 texture to save on some memory. So we're just gonna scale this down a little.
Esoteric most commonly means obscure and only understood or intended to be understood by a small number of people with special and perhaps secret knowledge. It's often used to describe knowledge that's only intended to be revealed to people who have been initiated into a certain group.
The Maya users group.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I vibe with that definition.
Yeah. I used it right.
You did.
I just didn't know how to explain it.
Yeah.
Because it's esoteric.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The definition of esoteric is esoteric.
Okay, so we have our UVs here. Let's put this somewhere that doesn't matter. And we're going to be using a 2:1 texture resolution, which means in the 1-to-1 space, this needs to be warped. I'm just not gonna bother explaining things because even if I explain it, it's really hard to understand what I'm talking about unless you're actually working with 3D. So we're just going to scale this in the V axis by 2 to offset for the 2:1 texture resolution. Basically, it means let's say you have a 512 by 512 pixel texture resolution. In our case, it's inefficient because we would have half of the space be not utilized. Yeah, exactly. See, Jonathan gets it. How about 512 by 256 then? So if we want to use 512 by 256, we have to stretch our UVs in the 1-to-1 space so that it's accurately portrayed.
Cool.
Yeah. Mark gets it, guys. Don't worry.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's
Benny
I'm
just said, "Wait,
speaking a
what?"
different language. Okay, now we're just gonna export our light, preferably to the desktop, so I know where it is. What?
You're so fast with the keyboard.
I
Like
literally just said
17 things
light.
just showed up at once on your screen for the keyboard.
Okay. Ignore the warning. That's normal.
Okay.
And now we will go to Substance Painter and import our light texture.
So what is the benefit of it being 1-to-1 instead of 2-to-1 and wasting half the space? Computing power?
No, just saving on memory.
Like
yeah,
RAM.
computing power, basically.
Saving on random access memory?
Yeah.
I know what RAM stands for. I'm smart.
Because every time you load a texture in the game, it's loaded into memory.
Right.
And if you just have textures that are not utilized fully for no reason, it's just not optimal. So we split it. We just do like 2K, but we're going to unlock it later. So there we go. Now we are split into two materials. We have the bumper and the light. And I like to use the whole asset because we can also bake the AO in the texture here.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not interested in working on the bumper. We're only on the light. So the way Substance Painter works is if you have multiple materials assigned to a mesh, it will split it in the texture set list per material. We can see that our light is a 1-to-1 texture resolution, which we don't want. So we're going to go to texture set settings. And on the size, we're just going to do 2:1. So 2048 by 1024. Basically 2:1. In the end, it will be lower, but I just like working in a higher resolution size. And maybe we can just bake AO. I don't think we need to bake anything else. It would be a waste, so.
Not even some muffins?
Oh, we could bake some muffins. And we just bake light. I like to have the AO in there. It's going to give it a nice depth effect. Okay, turn to painting mode, and we can see what that did if we go to ambient occlusion. You see the baked AO. It's there now. So we're going to go back to our layers. Don't need this default layer. Maybe I'll just save this. And now we just need to, we want this kind of vibe on our light, right? Typically what we would do, it would just Google a bunch and find a nice picture and just put it there. But I kind of like doing these by hand because when you're doing it from photo, you see this has a lot of reflections, a lot of dark stuff. It's just...
So this is a generic 2-inch or 2.5-inch, whatever it is, amber light.
Yeah.
These come in about 400 or 500 different styles: incandescent LED, all kinds of different patterns, 4 diode, 6 diode, 1 diode. So it's totally up to you. Whatever looks very lighty will be perfect.
So I will handcraft the texture because I prefer doing it. It gives me more control, and it will also make it easier for me to make a lamp mask from it later.
Okay.
Because, as I said, sometimes we would just grab a picture from the internet and just put it there as the texture, but it's more problematic, I would say. Handcrafting it takes a bit more time, but I think is also more interesting to look at rather than me just copy pasting a picture on it. So
That's fair.
yeah, we can just
Kappa D says, make this a paid DLC, and with the proceeds, you can buy Benny all the Baconators he wants. That's the thing. He had money for Baconators, but he chose not to get one. I'm telling you, Chad, it's like we're in the Twilight Zone here. Like, it was a crazy week.
So I'm just going to copy this image and put it here and lock this so that I can have this all the time with some Substance Painter open. Okay, so we need to do a bit of trickery here because on our mesh, we have a flat face, but on the actual reference, you can see it's kind of extruded. So we're going to do it with a normal map.
Do you think it's even necessary? Will the players notice something that minute?
I like to do the details because they give the textures more life and character.
Okay.
Like, you would be surprised, but even the tiniest amount of details, they compound, and when you piece it all together, it really gives it the depth and kind of grounded feel. I think that's what like really plays into your subconscious memory of what the world looks like and helps you feel immersed in the game world. Yeah, we notice it. Of course they do, because it just, as I said, helps you get more immersed into whatever you're doing. So we're going to make a layer. I'll just call it base. And we only need the color and the roughness on it. And this is quite reflective, so we can go low on the roughness. And we just need some sort of orange color. So we could just grab our little eyedrop tool here. And I'm just going to sample some color from the light itself that it's not too dark, it's not too bright. Something like that, maybe. I think I like this one. And we can just play around a little now with the... I would definitely desaturate it a little and make sure it doesn't exceed 0.8 on the value.
Okay.
Because we don't want it to be blown out in the game.
Right.
So something like that. So now it's looking quite basic, but we're just going to keep adding to this. So we got that base, but now I want that popped effect. So I'm going to add I'll just call it normal, new layer with only the height on it. I'm going to push up the height. I mean, we can do it to the maximum. It doesn't really matter. And I'm going to add I believe will be the best choice here. There's multiple ways of masking this, but I think we just add a circular bitmap. So something that would work. We could even use some of these stamps, actually. Yeah, maybe that would be easier. So we could just plug them into the normal. Yeah, we're going to do that instead. We're going to go to the normal channel and plug in maybe this one. And now we just need to fit it here, which will be, maybe we can use a different type of projection. I always like to do things planar or triplanar. So maybe we could try planar projection because I can now just move it in 3D and just scale it accordingly.
Oh, more.
Yeah.
More.
Well, we don't want it to
More.
clip. We don't want it to clip with the
More.
geometry too much.
Yeah, you do. Because look at the reference photo.
Yeah, but it should be outwards. So
I go more.
we need to flip the green channel. Sometimes it does this. I use direct text instead. Apparently not. Okay.
So what's the issue?
You see the normal map is oh, maybe because it's
Oh, it's like
no, that wouldn't make any difference. You can see on the preview,
it's like going in instead of
it's
out.
on the preview it's going out, but
Yeah.
on the actual texture, the green channel is inverted, so it's going in. That's typically the difference between using DirectX or OpenGL. There should be a way to control it, but I don't think it's in here. That's why I prefer using the height instead of the normal. I don't know why this is still a thing after so many years of Painter, but it is. We can flip it manually later in Photoshop. I like to preview it, so I think we just go back and use the height, and maybe we just need a circle. Sorry, if we use the circle, it would be a bitmap mask. So, yeah. And then on this one, we would use maybe planner would be fine. There we go. There we go. And we definitely don't want it to be repeating, so I'm going to go none on the wrap. And we can now control, just grab it like that and control the size of the offset.
Right there. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. So get that 3D effect. It's a little weak. I would like it to be a bit more pronounced. So maybe there's some parameters that we can control on this. Doesn't look like it, but maybe we can right click on the mask itself and add a filter. And I would add here a bevel and just play around with the bevel. So something like this. And just smooth it a little.
Yeah, it looks pretty good.
See, now we got that faked effect that it's kind of popped out.
Mm.
So that's how we use very low poly meshes and just use the textures to enhance the fidelity. You see from the distance, it looks quite convincing that there's something going on, that it's popped out. And the reason why I really love the substance suit is how procedural and non-destructive the workflow is. At any step of the process, we can always go back to our layers and our masks, and just whatever we don't like, we can change it without a hassle. You see, I can move now the position of the circle, and the filter is still taking effect. If I don't like the bevel, I can go back to it and just readjust it. No problem. It's a really, really powerful tool that allows us to get the most out of our texturing process. I'll push it up a little more, actually. Maybe I kind of want to cover. So as you can see, texturing is quite a delicate process. I try to enjoy it as much as I can, because otherwise I'm just modeling most of the time. It's giving me some weird kind of, see, stepping here. So maybe I'll just play with the bevel. Maybe it's the smoothing.
I assume it's just the shadow.
There we go. Smoothing kind of smooths it out a little. Maybe that fixes it. No. Just a little more. There we go. Okay. Pretty happy with that. Okay. So we got the main component of it done. Now we need to break this down into layers and basically give it more coloration, give it more pop, and make it interesting. We can use the AO to give it some nice depth. So I would actually put the AO in the color as well. But I like to use it as a bitmap instead of just putting it in there. So if we just go, this is the baked output. And if we darken the color on this channel, and we just need to invert it, we add a levels and press invert. Now you can see if we go to our base color channel, you can see what this is doing. Just adding a little extra depth
Okay.
to our model. Now we can also use this mask to give depth to the light itself. Like this is the shadowing,
Mm-hmm.
and we can always control it with this layer. So maybe I like it a little lighter, not too dark. But I'll just duplicate this, maybe call this depth. Invert it back to what it was. And on the base color, I will sample our original color. This is different in Panther. Yeah. So maybe we could just copy the hex code. Yeah. It's a very convenient way of duplicating colors. So I'll do this one, but maybe I'll make this a little brighter and a little more saturated, or maybe desaturated. We can play around with it. That's why using Painter is pretty nice, because it's got a procedural workflow. You can always go back to something if you're not happy. Maybe just play with the range a little bit. Like that's too much. I want something like that. And maybe maybe brighter looks better. What do you say? Maybe something like that.
It's hard to say. I feel like we need some like
More detail.
Well, I think we need like a touch of gold in there somehow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we could push it up to more yellowish. Like that would be too much, obviously.
That's too much, but
something like that.
yeah.
We can always go back to it and adjust it later. But these are the steps I take to basically add depth to a flat surface.
Cool.
Which is just giving the illusion. So I don't know if you want to keep this going now, or maybe next stream we can wrap up the texturing. Like we would have to do the rings and give it a little bit of a fake reflection.
And you really thought we were going to be done this stream?
Chance. No chance.
Yeah, I think we made some good progress today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think we can finish the texture next stream. Show the process of how I work with Substance Painter.
Cool. Yeah. Are we doing this next week?
I believe so. I can check the schedule.
I think we might have to put Namiro in here with you.
Yeah, because secret stuff.
No, because he's like so like full
he's
of
really
wonder
into it.
and
yeah, exactly. Yeah. You're just wandering in the distance.
So again, if you guys want to check out the earlier episodes to see how we blocked out and made this moose bumper before we got to the point where we're spending an entire hour on this light, feel free to go back and check our other episodes. And I saw a lot of questions in the chat too. So if all these questions will eventually be answered. So be sure to tune in to our SCS blog and all of our social media channels and our YouTube channel, of course. And make sure you tune in for the live streams as well. Always something fun going on here. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Andy.
Thanks for having me, as always.
For all the knowledge, the esoteric knowledge.
Exactly.
Thank you, Benny, behind the scenes, getting everything done for us, producing the live stream. So thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate having you here, and we'll see you on the next SCS live stream.
Next one is on May 15th.
Do you know that for sure?
It's, probably May 15th.
May 15th. You heard it here.
Yeah.
See you on the next one, guys. Thanks a lot.
Is Benny sleeping?
I don't know. Benny cut.
Benny's...